Hello everyone. So for this seminar we will cover the question for Dubai Limited. Let's have a look. Okay, great. So now for this question, as you see, we have two production departments including the mixing and packaging, and we have two service departments including the stores and maintenance that support the production departments. And if you look at the question, you will see that we have the overheads. These are the overheads, and each overhead, it does give you the cost and also the comments for each. That's fine, we'll come to it in a bit. Also, this table looks about the basis for overhead, okay. And the question here, it tells you that mixing and packaging are highly automated and machine intensive. That's very interesting. Yeah. And the machine hours for each department including the mixing is 10,000. So 10,000 here, and the packaging is 8,500. Okay. For labor, mixing is 5,000 and the packaging is 3,500. So far, for the two, there are number of labor hours and number of machine hours for each department which are related to the production departments. Question number one asks you to calculate something called a blanket overhead absorption rate. When it comes to blanket overhead absorption rate, this blanket, right, it does give you only an idea of the overhead absorption rate. Yeah, it's not related to specific departments. If we need to calculate it, very simple, what we need to do, the idea for this, because the question tells you need to do it per machine hours and per labor hours. In this case, the formula, which is the total overhead cost divided by number of machine hours and the other one, number of labor hours. So first of all, the total overhead cost, if you add this together, this is the total overhead cost. Yeah, this is the total overhead cost. Okay. And the total machine hours, this one, 18,500, and the total labor hours is 8,500. So if you look at the answers, you will see that the total overhead cost is £375,000 divided by total machine hours equal 18,500. So that's give you 20.27 per machine hour. However, for the labor, again we use the same labor cost, the overhead cost. You divide it by number of labor hours, which is the 8,500 labor hours. So that gives you 44.12 per labor hour. So this is the blanket, very simple, straightforward. Okay. Now the question asks you to calculate or apportion the cost to each department on the most appropriate basis, and then what you need to do, you need to reapportion the cost of the service department to the production departments. And after that also we need to calculate something called the OER, the budgeted overhead absorption rate. So this question talks about the 3 steps we learned in the lecture. 3 steps. So let's have a look at the first step. The first step, we need to allocate the overhead cost across the departments, the 4 departments. Yeah, let's start with the heat and light. The first one, we talk about heat and light, right? First of all, when it comes to this question, what you need to do, guys, you need to where is it? Okay, here we go. You need to list first of all the production departments, as I mentioned, and after that you need to list the non-production departments, and the total is there, right? So the first one we will start with is heat and light. Let's have a look. For heat and light, it does tell you that the total cost £67,200. So how to allocate this across the departments? So very simple. So it does tell you here, apportion according to floor area. Look, the question tells you, okay, use the basis for the floor area. Fine. So if you go to floor area here, you can see that the total here, if you add them together, 10,622, that's 20,000, isn't it? 20,000. So if you need to apportion it, which is, if you remember in the lecture, it's math skills, isn't it? Which is 10,000 divided by the total, 20,000, times the cost, 67,200. So this is the way you do it across all the departments. Yeah, and this is the answers for the heat and light. Heat and light. For the power, total is 60,200. If you look at the comments, you will see that the total cost for 6,200, apportion 60% of it from to mixing department and 40% to packaging department. Right? Can you see? So now it does tell us the power related to this is not related to stores and maintenance. Leave them. So we talk about 60%, £60,200 times 60% goes to mixing and times 40% goes to packaging. Look, here we go. So we are fine. So we don't have anything for stores and we don't have anything for maintenance. Now for the third one is the salaries, supervision salaries. The total cost is £36,600. And again, how to do it? Very simple. If you look at the comments, what does really tell you that 6 supervisors are employed, right? 6 supervisors are employed, 2 in each production department. Here we go. So mixing, 2 employees, packaging, 2 employees, and stores, 1 employee, and maintenance, 1 employee. Great. So 2, 4, 6, that's 6 employees, isn't it? Total 6 employees, or 6 supervisors, sorry. So if you look here, you can see that if you need to allocate it, so if we start with mixing, you would say 2 divided by 6, and then you multiply it by 36,600. Yeah, that's for mixing and packaging is the same, yeah, because 2. For the non-production departments, including the stores and maintenance, so what you need to do, 1 divided by 6, then you multiply by 36,600 pounds. Right, this is the way you calculate the supervision here, supervision cost here. Okay, good. Next one, we talk about wages. Now if you look here, you will see that the question specify stores wages, right? So now this is wages, the 22,900 is related only what? To stores. Is related only to what? To stores. Okay, only to stores. Okay, in this case, the only department which we need to allocate is only stores. Can you see? So we don't allocate it into the other departments. Same comes with what? With the maintenance wages. So wages here, wages is related only to what? This 3,200 is related only to what? To maintenance department. Again, so that's, you go to maintenance and you include only the 3,200 pound, 3,200 pound. Right. Depreciation. So depreciation, £102,000, and the question tells you that apportion using net book value of assets, right? Can you see net book value of assets? So here we go. And if you look at the net book value, it's available in the table below, and as you see, the net book value here, right? 420, 280, 40, 60, that's total 800,000. 800,000. Okay? So, if you need to allocate the first mixing, so 420 divided by 800 times what? Times 102,000. Second one, 280 divided by what? Divided by, where is it? 280 divided by 800 times 102, and the way you calculate it, etc. Okay? That's the total cost for allocation for depreciation. Okay. The last overheads available here, is the other overheads. Could be anything, other overheads. £54,000. It tells you that from this number or this figure, 54,000, so 30% goes to production, each production department. So mixing 30%, packaging 30%, and 20% to each service department, service stores 20%, and maintenance 20%. So that's 54,000 times 30% and 20%. And that's the way. Here we go. Yeah. So we've done we allocated all the overheads. We've done step 2A. And after that, you just need to put the total for each department. The total. That's a step 2A. Step 2A. Okay? Now, for step 2B, if you remember that we need to allocate, can you see, the non-production department, the service department, to the production department. So at the end of step 2B, the total maintenance and the total stores must equal 0. How we do it? We need to start with the, look at the question first. So if you look at the question, here there's no information, here no information, here we go. Look here, hours spent on maintenance. Look. You can see that the total cost of maintenance, that 40% of hours spent on maintenance, including the mixing, 40% packaging, and 20% stores. So what you need to do, really, the total maintenance cost, which is the 63,370 pound, that's the total cost of maintenance. You need to multiply it by what? You multiply it by 40%, 40%, and 20%. And as you see, we did it. Here. Can you see? Yeah. So now the total maintenance equals 0. The total maintenance is equal 0. True? Yeah, 0. So now the total stores equal 51,620 plus 12,674 equals 64,294, as you see. And the total for packaging 133,688, and the total for mixing 177,018. Fine. So now we have not finished step 2B, isn't it? Because step 2B we need now to find the stores. So the total stores now which is the 64294, we need to what? We need to redistribute it across the mixing and packaging. But how we can do this? So you need to go back to the question, find out. Let's have a look. Here we go. Number of materials requisitions from stores, right? So from stores is 50% mixing, 50% packaging. So here we go. That does tell you that's 50%, 50%. So in this case, very simple. This number 64294, you just multiply by 50%, 50%, and you allocate it to the two production departments. So at the end of the day, you can see that this is 0 stores, 0 maintenance, and the total production departments, that's the total, the final total for production departments, including 209,165 for mixing and packaging, 165,835. And this is step 2B. This is step 2B. So this is the final two figures for the mixing and the packaging. So for step 3, what you need to do for step 3, you need to calculate the OAR, which is the overhead absorption rate. Yeah, OAR, overhead absorption rate. How you do it? Very simple. The total overhead cost divided by number of machine hours or number of labor hours. Let's have a look. For the mixing and packaging, we need to look which more hour used. Is it labor or machines? So have a look. So you can see that for mixing it's 10,000 machine hours compared with what? With 5,000 machine hours. Can you see for mixing again? Look, 10,000 machine hours compared to 5,000 machine hours. So as you see, so of course we used, in this case we are going to use what? 10,000 machine hours. So can you see here? So this is why we divided by number of machine hours, which is 10,000 machine hours, because we use more machine hours. So 209,000 divided by 209,000 by 65 divided by 10,000 equal 20 pound 0.92, and this is per machine hour. Okay, that's for mixing. For packaging, same, but we need to see more labor hours or more machine hours. Packaging machine hours, we have 8,500 machine hours compare with packaging 3,500 labor hours. So as you see, we have used more than we have used the machine hours more. So in this case, very simple, you divide it by 8,500, which is the machine hours, number of machine hours. 165,835 divided by 8,500 equal 19.52 per machine hour for packaging department, and this is the overhead absorption rate. So this is the 3 steps available, guys. So including step 1, step 1 is already given, so don't worry about it. So step 2A, step 2B, and the step 3. Okie dokie. All right, okay, that's see, just some theory behind, you need to read it, and for this theory, very simple, it does tell you why it's explain briefly the benefits of using departmental overhead absorption rate rather than the blanket wide rates. So as you see in this question, we calculated the blanket rate here, but here we calculated, as you see, we calculate here the departmental overhead rate. So the question tells you why is more beneficial for the company to calculate the departmental rate to blanket rate. Of course, it's very important. Why? Because it gives you more accurate when it comes to this, more accurate figures, is more specific when it comes to departments. Here it's kind of like you calculate blanket rate for everything, is not related to specific activity, because here can you see 375 is total overhead, all of it, but here we are more kind of like breaking down and accurate more in a way. So basically have a read about it and you should be able to understand. So yeah, that's all for the question Dubai Limited. So again, the the key to practice, and the key is to understand math, right? Thank you guys, take care, bye bye.